The Trail of Tears, 1830s. The Trail of Tears refers to the forced removal and relocation of Native American tribes from their ancestral homelands in the southeastern United States to designated Indian Territory west of the Mississippi River during the 1830s. This somber episode in American history is a vivid reminder of the suffering, displacement, and deaths endured by thousands of Indigenous people. Despite the stark realities of this event, it also stands as a testament to the resilience and determination of Native American communities, making it a moment worth analyzing and understanding in depth. To grasp the magnitude of the Trail of Tears, we must explore the deeper historical context in which it unfolded. The socio-political, cultural, and economic factors of early 19th century America collided, leading to one of the severest acts of dispossession in history. For centuries, the southeastern United States was home to several indigenous tribes, collectively known as the Five Civilized Tribes: the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole. These tribes developed societies that blended aspects of their traditions with European influences, establishing agricultural economies, trade systems, and structured governance. Each tribe's culture was deeply rooted in their lands, which were more than a physical space. They symbolized heritage, identity, and spirituality. Their continued presence in these lands was incompatible with the ambitions of a young and expansion-hungry United States, eventually leading to conflict and coercion. The 19th century in America was marked by westward expansion, fueled by the belief in manifest destiny. The notion that the expansion of the U.S. across North America was not just inevitable, but divinely sanctioned. Settlers viewed the fertile lands of the southeastern U.S. as perfect for lucrative cotton farming, and Native American lands became a focal point of greed and ambition. Indigenous peoples' presence was now seen as an obstacle to progress, planting the seeds for one of the most significant displacements in history. The passage of the Indian Removal Act in 1830 epitomized the federal government's stance on Native Americans living on lands desired by white settlers. This act, heavily endorsed by President Andrew Jackson, authorized negotiations for the exchange of native-held lands in the Southeast for territory west of the Mississippi. While presented as mutual agreements, these negotiations often involved coercion, deceit, and flagrant disregard for indigenous sovereignty. President Jackson, known for his unwavering support of removal, framed this policy as a means to civilize and protect Native Americans. However, history reveals its devastating human cost. The removal process was fraught with resistance, tragedy, and manipulation, illustrating the complexity of this tragic event while highlighting the resilience and agency of the affected tribes. Among the five civilized tribes, the Cherokee mounted the most notable legal resistance. They clung to the rights granted by earlier treaties with the U.S. government and took their grievances to court. In the pivotal 1832 Supreme Court case, Worcester v. Georgia, Chief Justice John Marshall ruled that the Cherokee Nation constituted a sovereign political entity. His decision was groundbreaking, recognizing indigenous land and self-governance rights. However, the ruling's power was undermined when President Jackson reportedly dismissed it with the scornful remark, "John Marshall has made his decision, now let him enforce it." Jackson's defiance encapsulated the government's lack of regard for judicial attempts to safeguard Native rights. Further accelerating removal efforts, the 1835 Treaty of New Echota became infamous as a vehicle of treachery. Signed by a small faction of Cherokee leaders without the consent of the majority, the treaty ceded all Cherokee lands east of the Mississippi for land in Indian Territory. This divisive act was used as justification for forcible removal, despite widespread opposition among the Cherokee people. This pattern of deceit was replicated with other tribes, corroding trust and fracturing Native communities. The negotiations were often anything but consensual. By 1838, Native resistance had been quashed by the federal government's sheer force. General Winfield Scott led troops in herding Cherokee families from their homes. Soldiers burned villages, confiscated property, and imprisoned communities in squalid camps that served as staging grounds for the long journey west. The removal process starkly revealed the violence underpinning U.S. expansionist policies. It was in these camps and along the arduous trail that the true toll of the policy began to unfold. The term Trail of Tears originated from the experiences of the Cherokee Nation, but other tribes also endured similar forced migrations. This chapter symbolizes both the profound suffering and the unyielding survival of Native American peoples. The relocation spanned an estimated 1,200 miles, covering treacherous terrain and requiring passage by foot, wagon, and overcrowded riverboats. Native Americans endured extreme weather, inadequate supplies, and intolerable conditions along the way. The journey itself was an ordeal of immense suffering, with families struggling to survive every step of the way. Harrowing personal accounts recount the unrelenting despair of being separated from familiar landscapes and witnessing the unthinkable losses of loved ones. The realities of the Trail of Tears are staggering. Around 16,000 Cherokees were relocated. Of these, close to 4,000 perished due to exhaustion, disease, starvation, and exposure. These figures are echoed in the tragedies of the other tribes who underwent similar displacements. Native American societies lost not only lives, but also their sense of security and belonging. It was, by all accounts, a human catastrophe on a massive scale. The forced migration ripped Indigenous peoples from their sacred lands, which were integral to their cultural and spiritual practices. With these lands also went memory, history, and identity. The Trail of Tears was not just a physical relocation. It fragmented people's ties to their heritage, leaving a profound sense of loss among the tribes. Despite these hardships, the regions where Native peoples resettled became new sites of endurance, creativity, and survival, proving that their spirit remained unbroken, even in adversity. Life in Indian Territory, modern-day Oklahoma, presented its own set of challenges. The land was often unsuitable for farming, and resources were scarce. Tribes had to navigate conflicts with Plains tribes already residing there, while simultaneously recreating their communities from scratch. Despite these difficulties, the Cherokee and other tribes began rebuilding. They established schools, newspapers, and government systems, demonstrating extraordinary resilience and adaptability. Through their struggles, Native American tribes forged a legacy of resilience. They preserved their languages, traditions, and stories, passing them down to future generations. Their ability to adapt while honoring their roots serves as an enduring lesson in the strength of cultural identity. The Cherokee Nation's eventual development of schools and democratic systems in Indian Territory is a testament to their perseverance and resourcefulness despite immense odds. The Cherokee Nation's eventual development of schools and democratic systems in Indian Territory is a testament to their perseverance and resourcefulness despite immense odds. The Cherokee Nation's eventual development of schools and democratic systems in Indian Territory is a testament to their perseverance and resourcefulness despite immense odds. Today, the Trail of Tears is widely regarded as a symbol of systemic injustice, a stark reminder of the greed, prejudice, and exploitation that drove U.S. expansion. Historical re-evaluations consistently place the removal within a broader narrative of settler colonialism, forcing modern society to confront the true human cost of such policies. The Trail of Tears occupies an essential place within American history as a reminder and as a call to action for ethical reflection and acknowledgement. The routes taken during this forced migration are now commemorated through the Trail of Tears National Historic Trail. This designation by the National Park Service ensures that the physical paths of loss and resilience remain part of the American consciousness. Historical markers and documentation along the trail's route grant opportunities for education and engagement, allowing individuals to connect with the legacy of those who endured. Efforts to preserve Native American history persist through advocacy, cultural preservation projects, and educational outreach. increasing visibility of Indigenous experiences helps foster understanding and encourages respect for their place in American history. From hosting cultural festivals to safeguarding native languages, communities continue to champion their heritage in defiance of historical erasure. Official recognition of the Trail of Tears as a significant event in U.S. history reflects a broader commitment to historical truth. These commemorations remind us of the profound consequences of policies rooted in greed and disregard for human dignity. The Trail of Tears was a journey of immense suffering and profound loss, but it also revealed the unyielding strength of Native American communities in the face of systemic oppression. This tragic episode teaches valuable lessons about resilience, the consequences of injustice, and the necessity of acknowledging historical wrongs. As history enthusiasts, delving into the complexities of events like the Trail of Tears not only deepens our understanding of America's past, but also reminds us of our responsibility to confront these histories with honesty. Reflecting on such events helps ensure that we honor and protect the rights and dignity of all peoples, both in the past and today.